Okay, I hope everyone had a great weekend. Celebrate if you had a good weekend. I did too. Well, I'm happy to be back at school, and finally, hopefully there's no snow days this week, so we don't have time apart. So, today in writing, we're going to continue what we learned last time. And I know it's been a really long time since we've done Writer's Workshop because we've had snow days and things like that. But last time we did Writer's Workshop, I taught you a rule for commas. Thumbs up if you remember hearing about commas. Okay. I'm just going to go through the rule a little bit just to remind yourself of what you've learned already. So, this is what a comma looks like. And remember, the rule we came up with together as a class was that it's used to separate the day and the year, just like Miss Powell did on the board over there. And it's used to separate a series of words, which means if there's like a list of words, you use commas in between. Is it ringing some bells? Remember now? Okay, and then over here we put some examples. There's a comma in between the date and the year. And here it is an example of commas in between a series of words. So I like to play baseball, comma, football, comma, and basketball. So when we see a comma, we just briefly pause, right? All right, well today I'm going to teach you how authors use commas in their books. So I'm going to look through our stack here, and I'm going to show you different places where Robert Munch, Doreen Cronin, Kalia Bennett in our class, and Gavin Lloyd in our class have used commas in their writing. So while I read the little piece to you of their writing, I want you to think in your brain, where did I hear commas? Where would commas be used in that writing? Okay. First, I'm going to show you Robert Munch. Finally, she found a perfect pair of red, yellow, and green socks. So I'm thinking I heard some commas there. I heard a series of words. Thumbs up if you heard a series of words. I'm going to read it one more time, and I want you to think about the series of words and where you would have put commas, because then you're going to turn and talk about it. Finally, she found a perfect pair of red, yellow, and green socks. So think where commas would be used in this book, in that sentence. And when you know what you're going to tell your partner, put your thumb at your chest so I know that you're ready, or if I need to give more thinking time. Finally, she found a perfect pair of red, yellow, and green socks. Okay. The author used commas by turn talk.
The author used commas by red, yellow, and
Yeah, and why would they use them there?
Because there's 3 different words that need to be separated.
Exactly, they need to be separated by a comma. And we have to pause. When I read that, did you hear me pause?
Yeah, you get what you're hearing.
That's the end of a thought. Yeah. Good work. What did you guys discuss?
That Robert Munch put the comma after red, green, and yellow.
Yeah, look. Red, comma, yellow, comma, and green socks. So he does that. Why does he do that?
Because there were lists of words.
Because it's a list of words. Do you kind of think the same thing?
Because they wanted to
Right. And so they listed all of the different color socks. And when I read it, did you hear me pause? So I would read it. Finally, she found a perfect pair of red, yellow, and green socks. Good. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, I heard some great discussions. So I was speaking with Owen and Heba, and Owen, did you want to share out just really quickly what you and Heba discussed?
You can't put a period there because a period is the end of the thought.
Right, and then where did Robert Munch use commas? Because we never discussed that part yet. Where did he use commas, Gavin?
After yellow and red and green.
After the list of colors. Can you see that? So Robert Munch used commas to separate colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great. All right, let's look at a different author. Now this one is a little different. We haven't had any like this before, but these two are by Doreen Cronin, and she wrote these two books that we know so well. And she uses some commas in here in a different way. So I'm going to read a little bit about how she uses commas. Giggle, giggle, cluck. Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. I'm thinking she's using commas because I paused when I read them. But I'm wondering why she used them. Think about that for a second. When did she use those commas and how did she use them in her writing? Thumb at your chest when you have some ideas. If you don't know and you're just kind of guessing and trying to figure out how she's using them, that's great because that's how we can become better writers, by thinking about how other authors use commas. All right, turn and talk. This author used commas by.
This author used commas by. You can go first
She used noise. So maybe I'm thinking, kind of think like Andrea. Maybe whenever an author uses sound words, like clickety, click, clack, or giggle, giggle, quack, we put commas in between those sound words. What do you guys think?
Okay, she used.
So we kind of have a new way to use commas today in our writing. See how this using these authors help you? Yeah, and you're right. Just write in between all of the sounds. Click, clack, move. She uses commas. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I was discussing with Layla, Sydney, and Andrea how Doreen used commas in her writing. And what Andrea said, can you say it real quick?
That she used commas when she was using noises.
So she said that Doreen used commas when she was using noise words. So I think we just learned from a new way from this author to use commas. Oh, and by the way, I love how from here over everyone is focused and their eyes are on me because they're really trying to become better writers. Thank you so much. So maybe we could put the Doreen used commas to separate sound words. Like clickety, clack, moo. She used commas in between those. So clickety, oops, I forgot my K. Clack, moo. Do you see the commas in between all of the sound words? Okay, so great. That's a new thing. All right, and lastly, let's look at two authors from our own class. I'm going to read a little piece from Kalia's writing called The Lady Man. And I want you to listen to how she uses commas in her writing. Oh, I need to start on this page. He had boy hair, a girl shirt, and hairy legs. I'll read that sentence one more time. He had boy hair, a girl shirt, and hairy legs. This is a funny story. Okay. Now I want you to listen to Gavin's writing and how he used commas in his writing. He wrote a story about going to the park. I played hide and seek with my mom and dad. hide and go seek, went down the slide, and went down the pole. I'll read that one more time. I played hide and seek, went down the slide, and went down the pole. I want you to think about how the authors in our class have used commas in their own writing. So the authors in our class use commas by, turn it up.
The authors in our class use commas
The things that she saw that the guy has, right? Yeah, good.
Actually, I told my mom and dad. I had about
4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, thank you so much for getting back sitting forward so quickly. I can always count on you guys to do a good job at that. Okay, so when I was talking with Brandon and Jara, they were discussing how Kalia used commas when she was talking about a list of words about what the boy looked like when he turned into something else. So she listed things that he had and what he looked like. So she listed 3 or more things, right? And then what about Gavin? When I was discussing with another group about Gavin, in his writing, what he did is he separated what he did at the park with commas. So he listed a whole bunch of things that he did in the park, like play hide and seek, went down the slide, and went down the pole, and he put commas in between all of those things because it's a list of things that he did. Okay, so we'll put that on our list. Listed activities at park. All right, does that sound good with everyone?
Yeah.
All right, so boys and girls, remember that when you are writing, we can learn from all of these authors in order to make our writing better. Agree? Yeah. Okay, today when you write, and every single day that you write and you're using lists of words or you're separating the date, you can use commas. So I want you to try that out today. Get it? All right, writer. All right, so tell me about how you're going to add commas in your writing today.
How I'm gonna add commas is when I'm listing things.
When you're listing things? Okay, so what's your story about?
The rainbow dog.
Ooh, what's going to happen in your story?
That one day a dog named Oreo was walking by himself and he met this other dog, and when he ran into her, he turned into a rainbow.
Ooh, that sounds like it's going to be fun.
Rainbow Skittles.
Rainbow Skittles. Funny. Okay, so I like what you were saying before. You said something about how you were going to list stuff. So what kind of things are you going to list in your writing today?
That he turned red, and he turned blue, and he turned yellow.
Just kind of like Robert Munch, how we talked about how he separated it, the color of the socks. Good work.
Teachers, his head turned bigger, and his legs turned skinnier.
This is going to be a hilarious story, I can already tell. Okay, so it sounds to me that you know how you're going to add commas in your writing today, which is great, and obviously you know how because we used some of your writing in the focus lesson today. But one little tip I think that I could tell you to help you become a better writer is when you're writing, you only need a capital letter when you have the name of something or at the beginning of the sentence, right? Or if it's I by itself. So is there anywhere in your writing you think that maybe you don't need a capital letter where you have one? Ah. Here you
I
go.
need to go to Racer.
So you already know that Oreo needs to be capitalized because it's the name of something, right? Good job. So just from now on when you're writing, your rule is always to just capitalize the things that are the name of something or when else do you need a capital letter? I know you know it.
Of the beginning of the sentence.
Good job. So I'm going to write that down for your rule to work on, okay? Just putting capital letters in the right spots. Other than that, you're doing great. You're creative.
Teacher's name
You
was
have
Miss
funny
Powell.
stories, and you're taking what I taught you in the focus lesson and you're putting it in your writing.
Everybody loves it.
I know, because they're so awesome. Good job. So I'm going to write that down in my notes for you. All right, Taylor, do you want to read to me what you have in your writing today, or tell me about what you're writing about?
I'm writing about Snake Man.
About Snake Man. Ooh, what's Snake Man?
K-A-L-I-Y.
And he can walk and grab stuff.
That sounds exciting.
And he has a green ball.
His,
And he's
Why?
can you read to me what you have so
One
far?
day there was Cleo. Is this how you spell your name? K-A-L-I-Y-A-H. Why are you putting your name in it?
Fairy's name. Badoo.
One day there was a tooth fairy named Badoo.
Whoa! So, you're using such great describing words that I can like picture Snake Man in my mind. I can see him in my mind, which is great. And you're also taking what I taught you last week, I think, about exclamation marks, and you're putting them in there. So whenever we have an exclamation mark, what do? We do it loud or say it with excitement. Great work. Okay, so one thing that I see that's missing though, that I think is a little tip that you could maybe add in your writing to make it better, is I don't see any commas yet. Are you going to plan on using commas today?
One day there was
Well, that's okay because I have some writing here that I can show you, and maybe we can see how we could add commas in the writing.
named
So I'm going to show you. I know you love Robert Munch, just like me.
I like down a wall.
You like Jam Brett too? Well, she uses commas. I'm sure she uses commas too. But here, remember when I read this? Finally, she found a pair of red, comma, yellow, comma, green socks. So is there a list maybe of words that you could use in your writing where you could put them with commas? What do you think about Snake Man?
Found a wall. Long body, comma.
Long body. Okay, so he has a long body, comma. And what else does he have?
Name. Dude. Dude. He has comma.
You just know, you told me just a second ago you don't know how to use commas. Yeah, you do. So now you could write, he has a long body, comma, just what you told me. Hands.
Friend.
Try it out. I
Named
want to
Duke,
see.
his friend.
Well, I write down my notes for you. I want to see you try it out.
Was his friend.
The nice teacher, comma, the good student.
One day there was a tooth fairy named Luke. Found a wall named Duke was his friend.
Then pictures into it.
Oh, it's still doing the squares.
You should be writing. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Did you go and add some? All right, can you show me where?
Add one here. And
Okay, good. So, do you see how you use commas when you separate different words? When you're listing about how Snake Man looks, that's perfect to use commas there. Great work. Every time that you're writing, just know that you can always add commas when you're separating 3 words, okay? Alright, Andrea. How's it going?
Good.
Good. Can you tell me about how you've added commas in your writing today?
Guys, let's just work on our
Oh,
writing
you
like
list
normal.
kind of like Gavin's writing. I don't know if I have his. Nope, I don't have his, but in Gavin's writing,
Because it's just in front of
he
me.
lists the stuff that he did at the park. So you list the stuff that you did
I
where?
know, right? On a scary day.
Ooh, I want to hear.
One day, when it was snowing, then I went outside and built a snowman and rolled down a hill and snowball slided. Then we went inside and made gingerbread and drank hot chocolate. Then we watched Despicable Me 2. All in all, I had $1
I love it so much. And I love all the detail that you added about what you did on your snowy day.
And
We've had a lot of snowy days lately, huh? And so, can you point to where you've added commas? Good. Now, can I show you something really quickly?
the color
You're making the commas correctly, but just like, let's see if I can.
color's pink.
There we go.
Thank you.
Just like Doreen here, she puts it at the bottom of the word. Okay? Because if you put it at the top of the word, it's a different thing. It's called an apostrophe. So let's put it at the bottom of the word. Okay? Just so we don't get confused. If you don't want to change them, you don't have to, but just from now on, just put them at the bottom, okay? So, I'm really impressed that you know exactly where to add commas because you add them in the correct spots. But there is a little goal or a tip that I could tell you to make your writing better. You want to hear it? Okay. So every time you have a period or an ending punctuation, that next letter needs to be a capital letter. Okay? So just make sure that every time you have a period that you always have a capital letter. Okay? So is there anywhere in your writing you think that maybe you would need to add a capital letter? Exactly, right after each of your periods. Good job. So impressed. So that's a little tip, and I'm going to write that in your goal. Because last time your goal was continuing to use a lot of punctuation, and you're doing that. So good job. So now I think we can move on to a new goal of adding a capital letter after a period. While I was going around and conferring with students, I really liked what I saw. Because many of you were taking what I taught you in the lesson today and putting it right in your writing. You were putting sound words in your writing, some of you, to separate colors, some of you, just like the authors that we talked about in the focus lesson today. So great work. I'm going to have a few students come up here, and I'm going to have you share out what you did. So the first person I want to come up is Sierra. Now Sierra's going to read her writing to you, and I want you to think about how she's used commas in her writing, because she used commas in a great way today. You want to hold this and I'll hold your writing?
Owls, Sierra Paul, by Sierra Paul.
So she's writing an all about book about owls right now.
Owls have wings, feet, mouth, eyes, claws, feathers, babies. The babies hatch out of the eggs. The baby owls grow and grow.
Okay, so what I really enjoy, thank you, Sierra.
There's a back.
Oh, I'm
Did I
sorry.
write on
I
that?
am so sorry. Miss Powell just needs to
I
listen to you.
Read it. I didn't get to finish it.
Oh.
And then
Okay, so she's going to finish that tomorrow. So what I really noticed about her writing, stay here, is the use of commas. So I'm going to read this sentence again. Listen to how she lists a whole bunch of words. She does more than 3. and she puts commas in between each word. She's talking about what owls have. Owls have wings, feet, mouth, eyes, claws, feathers. So do you see how she does that? She listed everything that owls have and she put commas in between. So that's great. She did kind of what Robert Munch did and Kalia and Gavin did in their writing. She separated a series of words with commas. How would you like to celebrate? That was great. Cheerleader, ready, go. You lead them.
Give me a good. Good. Give me a job. Job. What does that say? Good job.
Great work. Thank you so much. Okay, I also was conferring with Tyler. Tyler, would you come up here, please, with your writing? Now, when I started to confer with him and I was asking him how he was using commas in his writing, he really wasn't sure, were you? But that's okay because he went back and added some after we looked at Robert Munch's book. So, can you kind of tell us where you used commas today?
I use commas in.
You don't. Do you want to read it? Okay. Do you want to use this?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has. He has a green body. He is long. He is snake. Oh, I forgot. He is long. He is snake man. He's in slides. He has and arms comma.
Okay. So he actually said the word comma whenever he had a comma in here. So that's good for you guys actually to see in your mind where he added them. So he was confused on where to add them, so he decided he was going to add them after green body. So he has a green body. He is long. And he has feet. Yes. So he used commas, hold on just a second. He used commas in between all of those words when he was listing out what Snake Man has. Oh, that's so kind, Brandon. Thank you for using encouraging words.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay, how do you want to celebrate?
Cheerleader.
Oh, you want to do cheerleader too? All right.
What a great job.
Oh, you want to do what a great job?
What a great job.
Okay.
What a great job. 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 He found me volcano because he was dying.
You should add that to your writing next time. Tomorrow. You can add that detail in there. Okay, and Kalia come up. I conferred with her too. Now, can you tell us, before you read your writing, because I know you really want to read it, but can you tell us where you added commas, how you did that today in your writing?
I put it when I list things.
Well, you listed things, okay. And so, did you use any of the authors that we learned about kind of to help you with that today?
Yes.
Who?
Robert Munch.
Yeah, because she lists colors just like Robert Munch did in Smelly Socks. So let's hear it. Here, why don't I switch you? You hold this, and I'll hold this.
The Rainbow Dog. One day, a dog named Oreo was walking by himself. Then, when he ran into a girl dog named Sparkle, then he turned into a rainbow. He turned into the colors green,
Listen,
blue, yellow, and pink.
commas. She used commas in between those. Yay.
Then his legs turned big, and his head, I forgot to put, was large.
Oh, his head was large.
The end.
Great. So she added commas in between her colors when she was telling the reader, you all, what color the dog turned into. Great work. How do you want to celebrate? Roller coaster. Woo! 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 Great work. Oh, I'm so proud of all of you. Everyone just celebrate. celebrate yourselves very quickly. I think that went very well today, and you guys are really, really doing a good job of adding commas. And I'm going to tell you, I think commas are the hardest type of punctuation to add in your writing. And you guys, as writers, are doing a really good job of that, so great work today. All right, we need to move on to Reader's Workshop. So when I say go, I want you to take your journals back to your seats, and then come back to the floor and sit in rows.